Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the globe. Now, as the masses is being bombarded with a barrage of distractions, you got prophecy just constantly popping off the page. And, this is one of the prophecies to focus on. All right, just looking over to the region of the so-called Middle East. All right, where you got, this ever building of conflict that's constantly growing, which is going to ultimately lead and snowball into a world war. And, a couple precepts, a couple prophecies, come to mind as I come across this article, which is basically going into how Israel is fighting all these different proxies on 5 fronts. Basically, they're being surrounded, and if they run out of any type of firepower, it's over for them. This is the reason why they need to stay propped up, with the military complex that the West provides for them. Basically constant aid and spending to, keep their weapons, being developed and produced and shipped out to them. And of course, using our tax-paying money, that's, most of your tax money is going over there, to help keep Israel protected, through the military complex, to protect them from these different fronts that they're actually fighting these proxies on. All right, showing you that they can't be the people, because we know according to prophecy, once the true Israel get into the land, there won't be any more wars. All right, but this is just more prophecy, jumping off the page. All right, one of the scriptures that come to mind, let's go to Obadiah. I'm going to read the first couple verses, and it says, Obadiah verse 1, it says, "The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor or a report from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle." And all these different heathens, primarily you got Ishmael that's involved, you got Elam that's involved. And they're pretty much fed up with the bullying that's been taking place. It's just this one-sided battle where the current state of Israel, spearheaded by the Zionists, they're using their agenda to justify their ethnic cleansing that's taking place over there. All right, just recently, you had a lot of citizens over in Lebanon that had these pagers, and come to find out these were pagers that were manufactured, all right, by enemies, and these people didn't even know that they were carrying technology developed and manufactured by their enemies. And in one day, they just all start going off, exploding everywhere, killing people. And then they followed up with a barrage of airstrikes, which forced them, Lebanon, to retaliate. And they fired, missiles into northern Israel. Didn't really do too much, only for Israel to return again. And if you defend yourself against them, in their eyes, just because you defended yourself, we got to outdo what you just did. We got to do you worse. So they've been relentless with it. And now at least over 180 plus people dead, over 700 people injured, over 300 Hezbollah targets have been destroyed. So, these nations, they're sitting back and they're seeing everything. And they're seeing that all these innocent people being genocided, women, children, all type of people, that are that have nothing to do with the war. They all are being casualties. And this is the blood that Esau has no problem with shedding, as long as he gets what he wants. Blood is nothing in his sight, because he's a man of the sword. So eventually these nations are going to rise up, and who knows what the Iranians are doing? Because last I heard, they were sending ballistic missiles to Russia, for their conflict with Ukraine, and they did it in exchange for nuclear secrets from Russia. So who knows what the Iranians are sitting on? Who knows what what's up under their sleeve? But they've been far too patient, and they've been taking a lot of L's. So obviously there's going to be some type of plot. All right, and this is all the Lord's doing. He's stirring things up. The scriptures say in Proverbs, the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. And like the rivers of water, he turneth it whitherso he will. So ultimately, the Lord is going to, amplify that spirit for them to get it on with those bullies, which is going to drag Babylon into it, of course. The least of the flock shall draw them out and make them desolate with them. That's prophecy, and that's beginning to speak, because now you're hearing about the U.S. government is sending more troops over there. And then with the elections coming up, that both candidates, they're both pro-Zionists. Their point is to prove to Israel who can kiss the ring the best. So it's not going to die down anytime soon. It's only going to, it's going to amplify. It's going to, worsen. So it says, an ambassador sent among the heathen, arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. And this is what we're witnessing. So you have it here. This is in a Daily Mail. It says, Israel's war on 5 fronts. How Jewish state faces all-out conflict against its Middle Eastern enemies after killing hundreds, and latest Hezbollah strikes as Lebanon accuses it of carrying out an extermination. And that's clearly what that is. And we know exactly why they're carrying this out. Just go and look up the Greater Israel Project. They're trying to extend their territory further into Syria, Lebanon, all right, and getting closer to Turkey. And, Turkey, they still on the fence. But their leader, he's been voicing a lot of disapproval for the state of Israel. And this is a NATO ally, by the way, who actually wants to join the BRICS. So they get a lot of backing from Russia. So it's only a matter of time before they, finally choose their side, which the prophecy tell you what side they're going to choose when you read Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right. But anyway, you're looking at this map right here, and you can see that Israel is surrounded. All right. So they're fighting all these different proxies. They're fighting with Iran, through these different funded militia groups. Hezbollah, that's Iranian proxy in Syria. All right. And the reason why they've been, dominating is because, they have the advantage of attacking from the air, all these airstrikes. But the way that they're going to be able to secure their land is by sending the troops on foot. All right, like the elders was explaining in the algorithm earlier. You had the elder Ariala and the elder in London, Rachaya Kwam, and it was basically explaining how for them to actually siege the land, if you're trying to take territory, you got to do it through boots on ground, and we still have yet to see that. Right? It's so far it's just been attacks and strikes from the air, from the sky. All right, and it's Babylon that's funding these different drones and fighter jets that they have. But if that money starts to wear out, what they gonna do? So you got Lebanon going back and forth with Israel. You got the Syrian regime. You got Iran. And then down below, you got the Houthis, the Houthi rebels, and down in Yemen, and they're pretty much right there at the Red Sea. And I remember the beginning of the year, any ship that was coming through there to deport to Israel was getting attacked. So they got so many enemies all around them, and it's not because these are these are the Lord's people, and they wouldn't hurt a fly. It's just the world is just against them. It's just a growth of anti-Semitism, rapidly growing, and that's the narrative that they would push. It would be very convenient for them. But it's not. It's because you done made a lot of enemies. All right, you doing all this attacking and hiding your hand, and then using the media to push out the narrative that's the most convenient for you, and that's what's been going on. But the world is paying attention. They seeing that they're trying to take these people out, and the moment you defend yourself, they up the atrocity propaganda so that they can actually up their military complex so they can go to war with you. And that's how this devil, he's always been that way. All right. Let me get this real quick. Yeah, this is Psalms 144. Actually, Psalms 140. Yeah, Psalms 140 and 1, it says, "Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war." All right, and their war machine is diabolical. And as long as they're being provided for, as long as they're being funded, the war is not going to stop. The attacks are going to continue to happen, and they're not going to stop until everything gets annihilated. So eventually, these nations are going to come together, and it's just going to be all-out war. All right, so I'm gonna read some of this article, and then we'll get some more scriptures, and we'll close out. It says, Israel intensified the conflict in the Middle East to new levels today, killing more than 180 people in Lebanon in the latest attack since military officials declared a new phase of war against Hezbollah had begun last week. On Tuesday, Mossad is thought to have orchestrated one of the most psychologically damaging clandestine attacks in recent memory, injuring thousands of Hezbollah members with exploding pagers and radios across 2 days. Then on Friday, the IDF delivered a punishing strike that eliminated a top Hezbollah commander along with some 37 other militiamen and civilians before continuing aerial bombardments over the weekend and into this morning. And this man, he lives by that sword for real. Ain't nobody outgunning E. That tells you that in Revelation 6 and 4, that a great sword was given to him to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. So Esau is obviously that red horse that has the power to wage war against whoever. And it's all about his insatiable appetite for the seizure of power and control, and the colonization of landmass that don't belong to him, so that he can keep his hands on the resources. That's what it's all about. It tells you that in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, about his evil covetousness, that he basically had to spill the blood and tear up all kind of cities, all right, in order to take seizure and make that land his own. Which is why you're getting the sentiment from these other countries, woe to you, woe to them that increaseth that which is not his. Trying to extend territory, taking Golan Heights, attacking Damascus. So it's going to end up backfiring, and that's what's going to trigger into this global war. It says, but Israel's hawkish defense minister Yoav Gallant and IDF spokesman Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari say they will do whatever is needed to cripple Hezbollah's military capabilities and allow displaced residents from Israel's northern territories to return home safely. And it's a lot of Israelis that are leaving the land of Israel. A lot of them are fleeing because they know deep inside that it's going to get deadly, and they don't want to get caught up in the crossfire. And that's the scriptures say, let every man flee to his own country. But they showing you that that's not theirs, because they're fleeing. If you was the people of that land, why is it that you need all this protection from foreign countries? Why don't you have protection from the holy angels if you're the Lord's people? If the Lord is supposed to be the one to defend you, you wouldn't need the military, all right, of Babylon the Great to actually defend you. You would get divine, heavenly, celestial protection. But they don't believe in that because, they're Edomites. They go back to Esau. He lives by that sword. He's a carnal man. So these nations, knowing that, they got to pretty much come together and create some type of plot or front to be able to deal with them. And which ultimately that's what it's going to lead to. So it says, these developments had led many, let me see, read this. It says, meanwhile, Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, has vowed to continue fighting until a ceasefire in Gaza is agreed upon, with deputy leader Naim Qasim declaring the group is now entering an open-ended battle of reckoning with Israel. These developments have led many analysts to cause that violence in the region is now approaching untenable levels. I mean, there's no way that you can really quell it, because ultimately the Lord is who's causing it. All right. So when the Lord does things, it has to happen. The Lord, he it tells you that in Sirach, the 18th chapter, that all things obey his will. So ultimately the Lord is bringing this to fruition. Zephaniah, no, I think it's Zechariah. Let me check. Bear with me while I look for it. I think it's Zephaniah 2. There it is. This is Zephaniah 3 and verse 8, and it says, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the praise. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy." So this conflict is what's assembling them over in that region. They got all their troops centered over there, and they're getting prepared for war. All right, this is why they've been in constant development of all these different nuclear weapons, missile defense systems, fighter jets, because they're gearing up. Joel 3 and 9. And it says, "Proclaim you this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pointing hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." And with that firepower, from the technology that's being developed, is how they're becoming strong, and they're building a currency, that's becoming stronger because they have resources that's actually backing their currencies, like gold and silver. While the U.S. dollar is constantly weakening, more and more inflation, and eventually is going to face hyperinflation, because it costs a lot to go to war. So, it says, "These developments have led many analysts to caution that violence in the region is now approaching unattainable levels, raising the prospect of an all-out war between Israel and its numerous foes." Yeah, you're becoming small and greatly despised. Everybody don't like you. Too much violence, too much plundering, too much entitlement, too much bullying. Okay. So yeah, this is what's going down. And you see right here, you got Israel, and then you got Hezbollah, and this is the amount of troops that are involved. Okay. And if they didn't have protection and backing from the West, they would have been fooled. They would have been moved on them. So that's why ultimately, Babylon's going to get drawn into this conflict. All right. Meanwhile, Russia is plotting on you with China. And that's when it's really going to get turked up. So this is a pretty good article, and it's showing you that prophecy is definitely jumping off the pages. All right, one of the main scriptures being Obadiah. You being despised among the heathen. You being made small among them. While they're building their military strategies and their nuclear weapons and their technology, you're surrounded, man. And this proves that without a shadow of a doubt that these are not the people. Because there will be no more wars pursuant to Isaiah the 2nd chapter. All right. So I'll put a link to this in the description for any of you brothers that want to, further go into it. And Lord willing, y'all were edified. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And until the next one, Shalom.